but I still think the rower is probably for cardiovascular equipment like the most underutilized piece of equipment, especially if you're primarily a lifter. So let's say you're not necessarily an aerobic athlete, you're not going to do triathlons. I think for
Hmm.
just the standard, I'll say lifting meathead, which I don't mean in a derogatory term at all. I just still think the rower is like way underutilized for aerobic and just cardiovascular conditioning.
Oh yeah, for sure. I totally agree with that, and it's probably because it sucks. Being
Oh, it's
honest,
horrible.
yeah, it's absolutely horrible. So basically, the rower has this, at least from my perspective, and it's like it has this really, it has this interesting combination of it requires you to generate a lot of force per stroke for every stroke that you take. And at the same time, there's a lot of muscle mass involved in order to drive that and get those wattages up there. So it also puts the strain on the cardiovascular system. But because each stroke does not take excessively long, you can easily sit at whatever 26, 28, 30, 32 strokes per minute. So the turnover rate is fast enough to create that cardiovascular adaptation, and you still get that sucky feeling from generating a lot of force for each stroke. So it's I think it's the closest cardiovascular modality that comes close to actually lifting, and with the added benefit of actually doing something that's great for your heart.
Yeah. But the difference with lifting is that you have very little afterload or pressure you're working against because it's so fast. And at the end of the pull, right?